Let's get your weekend going with Philippines Football League action this March 7, a Saturday, of course, at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. It is match number 86, and we've got this rivalry brewing and taking in another chapter. Don Bosco Garelli United and Valenzuela PB Mendiola. Claro Manzano here alongside Diego Cordero, and it is going to be an interesting one. Just when we thought we were in summer vacation, there were some steady rains right before kickoff and warm-up right here. And it's been difficult, Diego, let's face it, for these teams to get points as of late. But right here now, a prime opportunity.
Yeah, these are two sides that will look back at the season they've had so far and they'll be saying, we haven't given a good account of themselves or of ourselves. Both sides are only on 3 points. That's not a good points tally to have at this point of the season. I'm sure that both of these teams aim to at least end the season with a points tally that is at least double digits. And that will really, that if they want to reach that goal, they're going to need to win today. And you see there in the table, these are 9th and 10th place respectively, really lagging behind the rest of the PFLs. But today is a chance for a 6-pointer and a chance to get those bragging rights over the other team.
But at the end of the day, let's also just run through it. They still have a mathematical chance, of course, to make it to the championship round. It ain't over till it's over, as they say. They'll only stop swinging when the bell rings. Number 9 versus number 10. And they have this opportunity, actually, to play catch-up versus Toloy FC. And with that, again, yes, it's been tough. But better late than never, better now than never, come to think of it. That's the picture here in the standings as Montague continues to lead the way. And we will take a look at the standings, or we will take a look at our teams, of course, to see how things have been going, because we just got to have a good look at the standings. And this was actually the first round encounter between Valenzuela PB Mendiola and Don Bosco Garelli. As expected, you saw they wanted to go for the 3 points, with this being a prime opportunity.
Yeah, and last time around in the first round of the PFL, it was Don Bosco who got the better of Mendiola. This was a very close game. Final scoreline was only 2-1. But both sides definitely did have the chances to get all 3 points. You'd imagine it would be a similar story this afternoon because of how tightly contested these two sides are, and because of the similar sort of seasons they both had, that this match is going to be quite even. And as a neutral, that's going to be a promising proposition, because it means that it's going to be an entertaining affair one way or the other. But yeah, you'll see in these highlights, it was Don Bosco that got better of the other team. Mendiola will want revenge because they will feel that they also should have won this game. All in all, it's going to make this afternoon's game entertaining.
That one almost a goal for Francis Tacardon. He ended up scoreless for himself personally. This one ended up going the way of Garelli, 2-1 over Valenzuela PB. This game was last October 18 at this very venue, the Rizal Memorial Stadium. And this is actually the last win of Garelli in this tournament so far. Kung lilipat naman tayo for Mendiola, yung huling panalo nila was September 14 versus Army 1-0. And this was because it went 2-1 again the way of Garelli. Balot Doctora did score for Valenzuela. On the other side, Johan Embida and Yuta Yamaguchi got to score for Don Bosco. But interesting, Diego, let's get it out of the way already. Johan Embida did score for Garelli. And where is he now?
Yeah, he'll be on the other team for this afternoon, playing against his former employers. It's going to be interesting to see because both of these sides have changed over the transfer window. And funnily enough, Johan Embida, who was the hero for Don Bosco last time, is going to try and be the villain this time.
And we got to wrap up that first round encounter between our two rivals or protagonists right here. Let's head over to Don Bosco Garelli to take that deeper dive again with how things have been developing as of late. And you still gotta give credit to them despite of the difficult campaign or run of games. Yes, they've been losing left and right up until this day, unfortunately, but they're putting in some good performances. One of them, of course, there's these moral victories that you could take away. They held Wantagig scoreless in 45 minutes in the second half. It was 3-0 at the half. And that was the final score. Right after that game, they displayed not just that solid defense, but that opportunity to get forward and create scoring chances because they have been troubling opposing goalkeepers as of late with chances here and there.
Yeah, they held one taking scoreless for one half, and they did similar to Manila Digger. Against Manila Digger, they went into the halftime break after scoring an equalizer, so it went into halftime at one apiece. So that's just a sign that for Don Bosco at least, even though they're not getting the points tally that they want, they do have spells in matches where they do show that little bit of quality that they need more of in order to increase their points tally.
And you love how they were going with that 4-4-2. They're looking to play basic football, but to do it very well. Solomon Okereke will be up front. Let's remember he jumped ship again, but this is not his debut with the club. Romel Catarinin continues to be that force for them on the left wing. Shutaro Ishii will be the man at the back. But with that, of course, we've got our player to look out for in this game. We got to talk about that solid defense. And if you can only get forward offensively, you need to be solid at the back. Goalkeeper Shotaro Ishii has been rising up to the occasion. And they'll need to see more from him and the rest of the crew, of course, if they want to grab the win here and just rise up in this tournament so far.
Yeah, you'd imagine that if Don Bosco are to get any points today, a large part of it will come down to how well they defend. And you'd imagine that Shotaro Ishii is going to need to make a few saves here and there in these next 90 minutes if Don Bosco are to get 3 points. Been a tough 2026 so far for the goalkeeper because he's having to jostle with the new signing Mochamrad for that goalkeeper position, but Mochamrad not in the playing squad today, so Ishii has been given the trust by the coaching staff. Let's see if the Japanese player can repay that faith.
That's right, the 23-year-old, of course, has been getting the nod also as of late. And with that, of course, for Garelli, we are going to take this one to our coach interview.
I think the team is very excited to be back on the pitch. Especially we had rest from the last week because we have 3 games in 1 week. So, but now I think everyone is back to their 100%, and then we hope to have a good game, and we will do our best as usual. And this time we will try to be critical more inside of the final third, and yeah, and I hope everything will goes well and everything will go home with no injuries because we have another game in the weekend, in the weekdays, and then another in the weekend. So I hope it's a good game, and we hope we see more goals this week.
You clearly see, of course, that they are continuing to stay motivated. Morale is good despite of the tough stretches, and Coach Masubay was able to show that in that interview of theirs. Put a check mark on Garelli and let's head over to Valenzuela PB Mendiola. And with this crew of theirs, they are winless in 12 games, unfortunately. That first win, as we mentioned, in this season, or their last win, was versus Army, a 1-0 W. We got Johan Embida, who is back again. We say back because right before he played for Garelli, he was actually already with Mendiola. So this is his second stint. Ang tawag dyan, Diego, in demand, diba? But with that, let's see if they've been able to adapt that similar formula right here as Don Bosco Garelli, because there's no clear-cut way, of course, to deal with these losses here and there. Sometimes teams will need a break mentally and physically. Sometimes they need extra training just to get out of a slump here and there. But let's see how things will develop. What's your take?
Yeah, it's a team, devoid of confidence. It's been such a long time since they picked up a win. We were talking off air that last win came in, I think it was late September.
That's right.
So it's been a very long time since they've gotten 3 points. They need a boost, from anywhere. They'll be hoping maybe that it comes with some of their new signings or if it comes from one of their holdovers. But I think they'll take a boost and confidence boost from absolutely anywhere at this point because they need to kickstart their season. It's already the second round, maybe midway through that second round. So time is slightly running out if you're Mendiola and you want to increase your points tally towards the end of the season. But today is a chance for them to do just that.
It seems like there is also a curveball, right? Because when we take a look at the lineup, there's a lot of new names, and these names were actually not announced. So is it going to be that element of surprise? I've seen this actually with some of the top teams, some of the top teams who are in the top 6. We're not saying, of course, that guarantees success, but that element of surprise can catch you, of course, from time to time here and there. But it is that 4-4-2 that they are utilizing. And we did mention his name earlier with Johan Mbida being that player to look out for. He will be that vital cog in the attack, as much as you have those familiar names with the likes of Reggie Sulit, who are core members of the squad.
Yeah, again, playing against his former team today, he's going to need to have a good game if Mendiola are going to do anything going forward. He needs to be an outlet for his team to relieve pressure, but also to get on the end of chances. It's a team that in previous matches at least, they haven't created plenty of chances. If they create chances today, they have to take it. And you'd imagine that Mbida will be on the end of a few of those chances. He has to be clinical today if Mendiola want to get 3 points. A big part of their performance today will be how lethal he is up front.
We got to see also that Kevin Motagian will be their goalkeeper at the back end. Interesting because Victor Felicia, from what was given to us, is also going to play center back, and we are aware that he is more of that natural midfielder. You do have Koreans playing left back and right back right here actually for the Brave Men as they are called. That's how we get to pave or set things up for match number 86 in your Philippines Football League 2025-2026 season. It's been a tough one for Garelli and Valenzuela PB, but it is that chance here that they can grab by the horns. Who will it be? Or will it be a draw? As we know, they have this opportunity to play catch up to the middle of the standings. And do stay with us as we are going to take it to the pitch now for our pre-match ceremonies.
Let us welcome the teams of Bosco Garelli United and Valenzuela Baby Mendiola FC.
Another look at the starting 11 of Coach Mike Daniel or Riconalia. It will be that 4-4-2 again, and do not sleep, of course, on Banjo Mahina. We did highlight it in our previous games also, but he will be that center back for them, and also with his ability to make plays, he can also play in the central midfield role. Yuta Yamaguchi also will be ahead of him in central midfield. On to our pleasantries, of course, right here with our referees. At si Chris Mark Tanyola ang referee natin ngayon, at ang kanyang mga assistant referees ay sila Aldous Merafuentes and Ronelo Ketigan. Si Raymar de los Santos ang fourth official. Si Ravelo Salurio ay ang referee assessor. And Ms. Paula Carmina Cervantes ang ating match commissioner. Your respective team captains, of course, were pictured earlier. It's Kyung Hyun Yo who is going to captain Valenzuela PB for this game. And these two teams actually are playing in that 4-4-2. So I'd like to think it will be their skills and talent to be the difference maker this afternoon.
Yeah, when teams often match formations, match systems, match their shape, it becomes a battle of individual brilliance, becomes a one-on-one duel in each position. So it's up to these players now to step up, win their duels, win their area of the pitch, and contribute to a good performance so that their team can get all 3 points as we get a look at the deep benches of both teams.
And you have the Michaels who are actually some of the promising game changers. You have Michael Broby who can play in the midfield, Michael Sim Michael Sims can play on the wing. On the other side, you also have Nico Arañas. He also did play for Garelli actually in the earlier stages of the season. You have Jason Soberano also here, one of the core players of Valenzuela PB.
Yeah, and you'd imagine that because the season is getting busy and busier, that both teams today are going to have to turn to their bench at some point. It becomes a squad game instead of an 11 versus 11 game. Really entertaining proposition right in front of us here, Claro.
Alam naman natin, may internal battles din eh. Uy, midfielder din to, siyang kalaban ko sa training. And essentially, if you're able to outplay your colleagues, you get the nod, you get the start, you also get opportunities to come off the bench. Valenzuela PB, Mendiola in sky blue and white, and Garelli in black and orange. This one is off. And you could say it is also somewhat ceremonial because you have Johan Embida to kick off this game, given that he has played for both teams already. They knock this one to the back. Otaghian showing us that he has that rocket of a foot. The whistle will go the way here of Garelli.
Expect the opening 5 minutes or so to be a little bit chaotic, a little bit adrenaline rushed from both sides as they try and figure out each other's teams. Again, they did play earlier on in the season, but that was a long time ago, and both of these teams have changed because of the recent transfer window. So expect the first 5 minutes of this match to be that figuring out stage for both teams.
As much as we've mentioned that Garelli did get the win, you add that curveball, of course, add that extra element into the mix. It's new players for the two teams. Yes, you have your core players or holdovers from last time around, but a lot changes, of course. As we know, it's just not that one player to dictate everything. It's inside now, came off. This one will be a corner from the looks of it. It was won by Reggie Sulit. We love the confidence and getting forward.
Reggie Sulit playing as the left winger today for Mendiola. He's going to have to drag his team up whenever he gets the opportunity. Won a corner here, and it's a chance early on for Mendiola to do something.
Ball came off of Pape Traore. Just Reggie Sulit was trying to whip in across. It's the feeling out stage, but you have to take these opportunities when you can. This one is overhit. It's a foot race now on the wing. Still with the brave man. Stopped by Pancho Mahinay. A bit of the hit, that is why Kim Min Kap is down. Accidental contact. That's not how you want to start your game, of course, and that's not how you picture things when you put on your socks.
A brave challenge from Kim Min Kap. Looks to be okay. Probably another player that needs to have a good performance for Don Bosco if they want to get anything out of this match. You have a lot of individuals here for Don Bosco that want to prove themselves because they've not had a good season so far. But again, this is a really good opportunity for them to give a good display in front of the PFL fans this afternoon.
A long ball over the top, no good for Mahinay. There's the battle in the midfield. That'll be the proving ground, of course. Whoever controls that midfield will get to dictate this game. It is a full slate of Philippines Football League games again this weekend, as always. And we say that as much as some teams are getting their well-deserved break or their bye, but we still have our double headers at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. The league has grown by far, of course, and there's an influx of teams. Second set piece in the game. Earlier a corner, now it will be a free kick on the right. You see they're going to whip in an early cross. Just absorbed by the defense. That's why Makevit back on. Katarinin played it on the ground. Just gave it away though.
I do wonder if it's also going to become a factor in this match. Slippery surface. It did just rain. Just saw a couple slips there. But it does mean that the surface is slick and that the weather is slightly more favorable than usual when you think about the time of the year that we're in.
Tandaan nga natin, Diego, this season started out in the Burr months, and you could say yung buong community dito na-spoil. Dahil maganda yung panahon, of course, with the cool weather. And we were bracing for this, of course, with the summer weather. With that, we expected games to be that test of fitness even more. I'm not saying it's not a test of fitness now. But you'll take this any day. Ang init kanina, bigla umulan. Right here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium, things got to cool down. So maybe expect more quality action because the players' energy won't really get drained as much. Pero yun nga, the field is slippery.
Do wonder also if it helps the flow of the game, if we're still gonna have that water break that we usually have, but again, the weather favorable today.
I don't think players are going to complain with that extra water break, of course. They'll gladly take that one. This one was chested, Escosora. The backline getting back now with the likes of Escosora and Felicia as that anchor. Now with Valenzuela PB able to stay compact in that situation. Garelli committing that error, trying to get forward. Mahinay under pressure from his former teammate. There's a hit to Johnson. Katarinin came off of Jae Hong Song. They will look to push now behind Kyong. Keeper off his line here. And it is easy to slow it down for them. And no surprise, of course, he's getting called to action.
Yeah, good goalkeeping there. Was quick off his line. Recognized that Reggie Sulit is really pacey, and he was gonna get on the end of that if he didn't come out with that sweeper keeper action. Good first involvement as well for Ishii, just to get a little bit of confidence up. But also a good run from Reggie Sulit to penetrate the backline of Don Bosco. Looks to be a really rapid player as well. So interesting to see how he does this afternoon down that left-hand side.
It's one of those core players again of Mendiola. This is the case with Escosora. He gave it away there. Over the top, flag stays down. That's Motagian who will secure.
Similar as well from Motagian. He just did what Ishii did a few minutes ago against Crawford this time. Both teams looking to be a bit more direct. Not afraid to go over the top and in behind with that direct style.
Sulit got his pocket picked by Johnson. They will slow it down to their liking. As much as you say, or we say also, when teams play the same formation, it is going to be their skills to just break the difference or make the difference here. It's still a sight to see, of course. Katarinin cutting inside. Nagmamadali. Not essentially on an island, but the brave men got to surround him. It will remain with Garelli though.
And neither side able to take full control of possession yet with a long spell. It's bounced between the two teams. Neither side able to establish themselves yet.
Poked away now. Any hopes of an attack for Valenzuela? Just died off because Kim got to clean up. Kim appears to be that holding midfielder who will play behind Yamaguchi. The flag was actually raised right here from our assistant referee on the closer side.
Yeah, okay, was just offside, as you mentioned there, Claro.
As much as nakuha ni Motagian yung bola, it was raised already. Well, a stop is a stop. Ito ang nangyari.
Quite tight, actually.
Still appear to be offside, you could say, or argue by a margin. You be the judge. Pakilagay na lang sa comment section. Ano kaya ang resulta dun sa tingin nyo?
But that's another example. They're looking to go directly into Okireke. So they're gonna try to create chances for him. There might be another one here.
They knock it to the right. Abarca shoots. Doesn't score here. It's a better stop from Motagian.
Barca is forced into his weaker foot here, but the shot was really good. It's a good save from the goalkeeper. I don't think he was expecting that even though Abarca was on his weaker foot, that he would have generated so much power. But that was a promising moment for Don Bosco. Could have been 1-0 up.
Yeah, those shifty, dangerous midfielders who come from the UE Red Warrior football program. Wala nang allow me to introduce myself, of course, when you're Jerome Abarca. Punched out by the keeper. It was not enough. But you see, his teammates were able to sort things out at the back. Here's another wave. Katarinin will launch. Off of Song. Abarca. And his touch and control letting him down in that instant. Things did not work out, but you could see the pressure is being piled up by Don Bosco Garelli.
They're trying to take control of this match now. Motagyan from Mendiola has helped his team a couple times there. First with the save, then that punch from the corner. Good pressure in the last 2 minutes from Don Bosco. Starting to dominate the territory of this match, playing in their final third more than their opponents. When you're having these spells though, when you're on the ascension, you need to take your chances. And if Don Bosco get one, they need to take it right away.
Because when you talk about these chances, they are not going to come left and right, as we know, right? There's a lot of hard work being put in to create that scoring chance. Yung mga moments na sayang, sana ito nagawa natin. It's these opportunities, of course. Pag may scoring chance ka, you just gotta take it, as we know. Mahinay drives this forward. Katarinin. Felicia intercepted that. It almost went to Okereke. Traore will knock it back to Shotaro Ishii.
And Don Bosco did similar against Aguilas. They created chances, but they couldn't take them. They have another one here.
Abarca gets to meet it, squares it, returns to him. It went through Felicia, but you could see to his relief, Motagyan got to secure inside his 6-yard box.
He's been good this last 5 minutes, Jerome Abarca. Looks like he will get a lot of joy down that right-hand side. Really electric player from the UAP level. Nice to see that he's made the jump to pro football and another good product of the UE football program.
It's in the middle. Crawford over to Okereke. The ball took an awkward bounce. Chance to shoot. Motagyan is becoming a brick wall now.
Yeah, Don Bosco starting to pile on the pressure now. As I said before that previous chance, they did similar against Aguilas. They created multiple chances in that second half, but were unable to take them, and that's why they left that game scoreless. Beginning to do similar here, but now the difference is, can they take those chances? Motagyan now making multiple saves, but Don Bosco will feel that they should have tested him better now.
It's with Mbira. Not essentially a foot race, but was able to dodge a number of defenders here and there. Intercepted. Jae-Hong Song. He was getting forward as that left back.
Jae-Hong Song combining and dueling with Isaac Johnson. The two number 80s actually dueling there.
Now it will be the brave men to roll the dice. Just like that, Ishii getting the stop. You love the response nonetheless from Valenzuela PB.
Match just opening up there. Again, these are two teams not on the highest confidence, so mistakes can happen. Lapses in concentration can happen in this match. Marco keeps that in, but it's been good so far. Looks like he'll have chances this afternoon.
So Yamaguchi dictating traffic there. Traore. He'll get it forward with Mahinay to stay at the back. Bakon, the former FEU Tamaraw. There's a bit of that battle of the East vibe now. On the left, you got McKevin Bakon for Garelli from FEU, as you just mentioned. Then you got Jerome Abarca on the right. Once a UE Red Warrior, as we've said. Katarinin. slow on the pitch now. It's shaken up.
A clear foul there. Good drive in field by Katarinin to get his team in a good position. Actually, a good set-piece opportunity for Don Bosco now, but just looking at the height difference of both teams, it's pretty close, so you don't see any obvious aerial targets. So it's going to depend on the delivery from Yamaguchi, who is one of Don Bosco's core players. Probably has the most minutes in that team. He did have that record until a few weeks ago. Need to double-check that, but he's going to have to deliver this in.
We had free kicks or set pieces earlier from Mendiola. Garelli taking this one. Now it paves way to a corner kick. It's been a bit of that my turn, your turn, as much as we've witnessed Garelli get some of that advantage in terms of possession. It's the outswinger to take. Katarinin offered that option to play short. They eventually take it. There's a header. I think that was potentially friendly fire, but it's a stop if you are the brave men. Two players down on the other side. Embida will push. Naghanap ng kakampi. The switch of play executed to perfection. But as we say that, Garelli able to get down in numbers off of Johnson to the wing. Katarinin to Okereke. Will he push the gas? But they will stop play because of that earlier collision during the corner kick.
Yeah, and Motagyan he might walk himself into a yellow card here, but he's complaining to the referee because he felt that there was a foul earlier on. He's being told by his coaching staff to calm down. But again, another good defensive contribution from Motagyan, and I think he collided with his player here. Or no, it's actually collision with an opponent. A bit unclear to see what happened there, but again, you mentioned it perfectly, Claro. It's my turn, your turn. So far in this match, neither side really able to take full control of this match so far. However, Motagyan has been tested a few times. Went to ground again there. So far, though, he is giving a decent account of himself. Looks to be a good goalkeeper with safe hands. It's a slippery surface as well, so it's harder for goalkeepers to make good catches of the ball. He's been good so far.
Karemoe Ugofaku was down, but is okay. That was the reason why play was stopped. As much as you were saying that Motagyan was on the fine line, of course, to getting a warning or whether it be a booking. Okay din yung pinapakita niya. That's what brotherhood is about, and looking out for your teammates. Ishii, off his line, got to secure. Just got it with that lunge. Jae Hong Song.
Mahina didn't help himself there with that pass back to the goalkeeper. Ishii recovering that scenario. Could have been really ugly. Could have been 1-0 to Mendiola. And again, they were okay so far, but a mistake could be costly. This is the type of match you don't want to make a mistake, and there's the pass back from Mahina. Too weak. Goalkeeper, good challenge, way outside of his box. Couldn't use his hands. Nervous moment there for Don Bosco. You can just see it's a squad that's a bit devoid of confidence, a bit unsure of themselves because of the season they've had so far. There was an evidence of that fact. Still 0-0 though.
This is that moment though for them to just uplift themselves. But who will take it? Both, of course, will be deflated should this end as a draw. And sinasabi natin ito, Diego, kasi halos dikit sila sa standings. That's why they want to get one over the other.
Yeah, and they're probably also keeping an eye on Army because they're just starting to wake up a little bit this season. Finally have points on the board. You know, no team in the PFL wants to end the season as the last placer. And if Army continue to ramp up their season and these two teams continue to have a slump, either side could end up at the bottom of the table.
Sulit versus Abarca. There's the support from Jae Hong Song. There's the stop, but it's another corner. But they'll definitely take that rather than the ball get inside that goalkeeper box.
Precisely correct, Claro. Good tackle from Sulit. Sulit versus Abarca. That's going to be a good deal to watch this afternoon. Two homegrowns. Both really pacey and both willing to do defensive work, as we saw there from Sulit. Another set piece though, and Yamaguchi has had decent deliveries so far. Let's see what he can do this time.
There's that Japanese influence with Garelli. This one going through, slipping past everybody. Garelli tried to push their luck. And definitely lacking in power to trouble Kevin Motagian.
Motagian would be grateful that it was a weak shot and that Don Bosco weren't able to take advantage of another set piece.
Back and forth we go. Who will secure? Mbira dropping down to support. Tandaan nga natin, he's starting actually as that striker. Victor Felicia. He's Filipino. He grew up in Singapore. So he actually spent his formative days playing for academies academies who play in the S League.
It's a pretty high level of football as well. The setup that they have in Singapore, they have a strong academy culture when it comes to football. It's nice to see that they've embedded him into this team now. He'll also need to have a really good performance as part of that core in the current formation.
Pero tandaan nga natin, midfielder siya, so he's not playing his usual position. But this is common, of course, when you see players playing different positions. There's that adaptability also. It is secured by Crawford. And with that bigger body, he's trying to cause havoc. Felicia gets clipped, the man we just spoke about.
Yeah, Crawford just got double teamed there. Couldn't do much and clear foul, probably out of frustration. Again, Don Bosco trying to find both Crawford and Okireke with direct long passes. Not afraid to just speed it up and go over their defense or their opposite defenders.
You have the relatively towering presence of Crawford, and then you have the speed and athleticism of Okireke. Those are the intentions. But this foray forward para sa Valenzuela PB Mendiola, no good. Babalik ang bola dito sa Garelli. 21 minutes in. Kita nga natin, Diego, yung intensity. The question is, can they keep this up for the full 90? I'm not saying 45. I'm referring to the game as a whole, of course.
And again, that's been a problem for these two teams. They've had good spells in matches. Mendiola even went 2-0 down against Maharlika, then equalized, made it 2-2. They conceded 2 goals again. Don Bosco equalized against Manila Digger. So they have good spells. They need to have good 90 minutes, which is a different question altogether.
Crawford secured the second touch. Shoots! Not in my house. It is Motagian. And he's been the busier keeper in this game so far.
Safe hands again, once again from Motagian. Able to collect that shot out of the air, kill its momentum. He's having a good match so far. But I think Mendiola will feel that he's been tested maybe more often than they would have liked.
Kyung gave it to the right side. Park gusto niya ibalik yung bola kay Tirado. Not the case here. There's that stop and start nature of the game also. Teams conceding throw-ins also here and there. Minsan din may mga foul sa likod para madelay yung build-up. Deep inside. Traore says, you're going to have to work for this. Kalangan niya bola nila. One-fourth into this game already. Oh, showing us the skill here. No points in that instance, Diego. Siyempre, alam natin.
The Rabona being brought out
In a game. In a game.
usually something you see on FIFA, but it happened in real life here. They do win a corner from it though, so if this does lead to a goal, I'm sure that moment will be replayed.
One of those life-changing moments. I'll get back to you in a bit there later. It was cleared, but that was quite shaky from Abarca. I reckon he knew what he was doing, of course. Nakayamaguchi. Oh, cannot connect here with Kim.
That's a shame because Don Bosco had good numbers going forward. Yamaguchi with a great first touch, but it's going the other way now.
Because of that, there's a hole in the middle. Banjo Mahina getting clipped. I reckon that was unnecessary. But that's what you love from your captain who plays center back. Nagkaroon ng butas sa gitna because you were getting forward in the attack. And all of a sudden, you lose the ball in the middle. Banjo Mahina cleaned up. Siya daw bahala.
Yeah, the game was getting a bit stretched there, so Mahina did well to win a foul, slow things down once again. And Banjo Mahina, the captain for Don Bosco, played a lot of minutes already this season.
He was
One of those trusted figures for this team.
He was already with Garelli when they made the leap to the PFL level. When Garelli actually made their debut in the PFL scene as a whole, that was in the Copa Paulino Alcantara. And nandun na si Banjo Mahina, of course. And with that, they'll slow it down. You see, kontrolado nila yung laro because you have Shotaro Ishii, who is in the midfield. They are pushing Valenzuela, PB, Mendiola all the way down. Good if you're Garelli. Not good, of course, if you are one of the brave men. Crawford knocked it. Nakuha ni Yamaguchi. There's Okereke to aim for, along with this man, but it is skied by Kim.
That is a great chance. Great build-up from Don Bosco. Great combinations down the right-hand side between Yamaguchi, Crawford, and he makes a really good pass to the on-rushing Kim. And I think if Kim sees this back, he will feel, I should have at least hit the target, tested the goalkeeper. In the end, the goalkeeper didn't have to do anything. But that was a really good opening for Don Bosco. Just a sign that they do have the quality to create such chances. Unable to take it though, and that's been the story of a lot of their games so far this season. They've created chances but couldn't take them. They need to change that story this afternoon.
That's what we were mentioning earlier. Yan ang sinasabi natin, with the chances you get, you have to put them away. Easier said than done. Montagian confident with his feet. Johnson got it away from Mbida. Mahina will keep it going their direction. And Okereke, it come from an offside position in that instance.
And that's a warning sign also for Mendiola that they can go behind the blink of an eye. Again, this match is so tightly contested, and it's probably a reflection also of two teams that are right beside each other in the table, because it's been that even. When you look at the standings, they're not only beside each other, they're level on points. That's how closely contested this match is so far, and you can see it because of how close they are on the table. That's also why both teams really want to win this afternoon, because you get that extra bragging rights.
Tawag dyan, rivalry.
Spot on, exactly spot on.
Well, they also call it a derby, of course, in European football. Number of touches from Mbida. Taking this one 1-5, and the shot from distance is skied.
Traore just telling his teammates they should clear it right away. No playing around at the back. Mbida actually did well to generate a chance there because he was outnumbered by a lot. And Embiid's going to need to do a lot of that this afternoon because he's playing as a striker. But a lot of the time he's isolated. He's having to deal with 2v1s, 3v1s. That's the life of a striker.
You can also say you win some and lose some. And with us mentioning that last result in the first round between these two teams, Don Bosco Garelli and Valenzuela, PB Mendiola, when they did square off in the PFL in the shortened 2024 season, nanalo nga yung Garelli 4-2. That was in April 20, 2024. The first time that these teams got to play against each other. Kasi nung Copa, nasa iba't ibang grupo sila at that time.
I actually remember that game. I think I was watching it here. There was a really good goal from Don Bosco that day. I think it was a shot from the left-hand side into the top corner. Nice to see that those two teams are still in the PFL after making those early appearances in previous seasons.
If I reckon, I'm not sure Django Johnson was part of that also. Channeling that superb effort from himself on the counter. Off we go on the counter. Crawford took a touch, flag down, laid it to Okereke. There you go, first blood Garelli. Now they get the goal. Is he going to bring out his signature celebration? Not that it's expected. It's his branding as we know. Let's watch and see.
Yeah. But you know, it's been a good goal. It was a very good goal from Okereke. Again, the question for this match was, can you take their chances? Because we know from Don Bosco that they do create chances. The question was, could they take them? And finally, for their sake, they're able to be clinical in front of goal and take the lead. It's something that's not happened too much this season. They'll be really happy that it has happened here. Assist for Crawford. But Mendiola will be frustrated at how easy they were penetrated, how much space Okereke had. No one's near him. And he has so much time and space to slot this into the corner.
Yamaguchi finding Crawford. He had the option to take it all the way. Was unselfish. You saw in that instance. He was on side. Selfless to set up Okereke. Thanks to that, 1-0. It's game respects game right there. From the front two of Garelli. And when Okereke shoots, he scores, and he dances.
And that will be a really big boost to his morale and to the morale of his teammates as well. You know, new signing, positive impact in this match already. And they give Don Bosco something to build off, something to platform themselves off in this remaining minutes. Up to Mendiola now to respond to that deficit.
And they have it with this free kick on the right wing. Here's the service. Met by Sulit. Okay pa rin daw ang bola. Jae Hong Song. Victor Felicia. Playing it. Embida was contained by Traore. Collected by McKevin Bacon. Connecting with the midfield. Kim just goes to his compatriot. Unfortunately, they are not teammates in this instance. There's also that strong number of Korean players right here. When you look at other teams, a common factor is that they have Japanese foreign players. But in this instance, when you refer to the two squads, they have players from Korea Republic. Off we go in transition. And it's Mahinay. He's been winning those.
Good clearance from Mahinay. Which, going back to your conversation, Clara, there is a lot of Japanese and South Korean presence in the PFL, both as players and coaches. So it's nice to see that those big footballing nations are helping out.
But it's loose. Too close for comfort. Somehow Garelli get to escape. The danger is not yet over here. So close, yet so far dito. Para sa Valenzuela PB Mendiola.
I think Ishii tries to claim this cross, but is very lucky because he mishandles it, and he isn't punished by Sulit, who for a moment looked like he had an open goal. In the end, Mendiola unable to take that chance. They might have actually just been surprised really that that chance actually happened, because it looked like a routine catch for Ishii. Have another chance here though.
As we know, on any other day, a mistake like that could lead to a goal. This corner kick going to the other side, but the shot from distance is no good.
I think that was Reggie Sulit again on the end of that cross. Very deep cross, so he does really well actually to recover it into a goal-scoring position. Volley just had Ishii scrambling to his near post, but did go wide in the end. I think Ishii was just diving out of precaution.
Going back to the first meeting of these teams again in PFL history. Yes, it was a 4-2 win for Garelli versus Valenzuela PB Mendiola. It was a Jules Camoin hat-trick that led the way for Garelli. He did score first goals actually of their club in PFL stage. No longer with this team though. Ishii with the sweeper-keeper duties. At that time around, I reckon he got forward, but he was able to do it cautiously without exposing them at the back.
A bit more confident piece of goalkeeping there from Ishii. Not the tallest goalkeeper, but he's good in terms of mobility, and a few times now in this match he's acted as that sweeper keeper.
Ito yung sinasabi natin when you see East Asian players coming from more developed countries in football. Yung mga Pinoy kasi natututo sa kanila. They're able to learn from the foreign players. And in this instance, with Asian players you've noticed, or East Asian, it's that technical ability with the ball.
Yeah, and those are the players you have to learn from, and those are the players you have to emulate because they're a bit more similar in terms of physicality. You know, they're not the tallest, maybe sometimes not even the fastest, but they're technical players, similar builds to Filipinos. It's a bit different when you're having to learn from European or South American players who are completely different in nature. So when you're having to pick up things from especially East Asian players, you can pick up things as well because of a similar sort of build that you have with them, and a lot of that does happen in the PFL.
When you talk about different styles, when you look at the players, of course, who hail from the likes of Africa, they bring in the athleticism. And that's the style of play that we see from other teams, actually. It will go out of play. It will remain with Garelli, the team in the lead. Solomon Okereke, the number 19 man pictured, our lone goal scorer dito sa ngayon. Diagonal ball. Sulit gifts it away. Crawford doesn't square it, and they double the lead here. It's a dream first half for Garelli.
Fantastic finish from Crawford. Punishes Reggie Sulit, who drops to the ground in frustration because it was a poor defensive touch, and fine margins in this match. If you make an error like that, you will get punished. But Crawford took that finish really well into the roof of the net. No chance for the goalkeeper, who's made plenty of saves, but he's getting nowhere near that. And Don Bosco are going to be so happy because this is a goal. He almost came out of nothing. It's a poor defensive touch from Sulit. Crawford is going to make no mistake from that range.
Born in Perth, Australia, and takes his shooting and scoring ability to Manila.
You have that killer instinct. You could see the moment that Sulit took that poor touch, that Crawford was smelling blood. And it's a killer's finish into the roof of the net.
To add there with Sam Crawford, he holds citizenship, or is a national of Australia and England, but was born in Perth, as we just mentioned. Ito na ngayon ang Valenzuela PB, nagmamadali na kay Embida. Waits for friendlies. And Shotaro Ishii with his ball said, so magiging goal kick daw yan para sa kanila. Just let's it out of play.
Yeah, Don Bosco don't need to rush now. Ishii, no rush to take his goal kick. But again, it's a frustrating afternoon so far for Embida because he's the type of player that wants to be on the end of crosses, not making crosses in the first place. He's having to be dragged so far deep and so far wide, which is not where he wants to be. He wants to be on the end of those types of passes, but at the end he's the one having to invent them. And you can see the frustration in him whenever he, doesn't get the ball where he wants. It's been a very tough afternoon for the attackers of Mendiola as a whole.
Normally, madalas, you have your striker and then you have that player to set them up. Normally, the midfield. It's onto the left with Bacon. More of that presence at the back. In this instance, tutulong daw siya sa opensa. Got to release it as he took a fall. Intercepted now by the Brave Men. Can they secure and keep it? Not the case here. Pereira was not able to maintain possession with them.
Yeah, but just looking at the difference of body language, you can see that Don Bosco, they're up for this. They know that this is a winnable position now. And for Mendiola on the other side, it's a bit of a slump posture from all the players. You can see that they're so low on confidence, and every time they concede a goal, that confidence drops even lower. And they won't be helped by this. There's a player injured for Mendiola. When it rains, it pours. It stopped raining earlier, but still raining for Mendiola.
2-0 is the score. Okereke did open the scoring. And Sam Crawford doubled the lead here for Garelli. We're going back with the Rabona. I will add yung nakita natin kanina. I'm going to add that to the list of opportunities I have witnessed for fantastic displays of skill. Let's pause that first here. We'll have a look at some of the highlights with this de facto cooling break.
A lot of chances down that right-hand side. Don Bosco, Abarca with a number of them. Abarca, no goal contribution so far, but he's had a good afternoon so far. Okereke on the end of a few chances as well, and he was able to take one of them. Here was that goal. Great finish from the number 19.
Team play there. Executed. And Okereke bringing out the signature dance.
I have to say, my plus points din para sa celebration ni Okereke. Very, very cheerful player. Looks to have that infectious happiness about him. Probably is also a morale booster in terms of his personality as well in the Don Bosco squad.
That was the moment. Sam Crawford made it 2-0. Problema lang dun. Paano kung ayaw nila sumayaw? You refer to the teammates of Okereke in Garelli.
And Okereke came from Montague. You'd imagine he'll bring that experience in a big PFL club to Don Bosco. And he will add something to this squad who are trying to fight to get into a higher position and to increase their points tally.
Sulit just willed himself to possession. He got to beat Johnson actually in that instance. Judging by height, he was going to be second best at that moment. Felicia's ball though was not able to connect.
Yeah, again, just speaking on body language, you know, whenever Mendiola loses the ball, you can just see a bit slower to react than Don Bosco, who are having that positive mindset. They're having positive reactions to losing the ball.
Here they come now, Mbida. Shoots! Oh, so close again. That one catching everyone by surprise. A quality effort. Somehow, Shotaro Ishii was able to keep it in. And what more? Nandun yung backline niya just to collect and deny any rebounds.
I'd say from Ishii. I think this is also a shot that takes a slight deflection. Mbida does really well to get that power. And yeah, it does take a slight deflection, makes it harder for the goalkeeper, but he makes that save and he keeps it in, doesn't concede the corner. Good save to keep this first half clean sheet so far. Still a few more minutes though until halftime. You'd imagine they want to reach halftime with that clean sheet.
All the action we've seen, and that's a first half pa lang tayo. We are only in the first half and we are already saying that we are geared up for an epic finish in this game between rivals. But this one will end in lackluster fashion. It is a goal kick for Ishii. This has gotta hurt and it has to sting if you are Valenzuela PB.
Yeah, and you think back to that earlier chance they had when Ishii actually wasn't able to claim the ball. You know, if that chance goes in, it's 1-1. The game is completely different. Fine margins are deciding this match so far, and it's been the story of Mendiola's season so far. Unable to take their chances and they get punished.
Here they come, Yamaguchi driving their offense. Flag is raised on the other side and it will go the other way now of the Brave Men.
The drive from Yamaguchi, playing in a slightly deeper position than usual as one of two midfielders. Usually see him higher up the pitch, but he's still driving forward when he has the chance. And yeah, we're going to see an early sub here, Claro, looks like.
That's an injury, and of course, and things not going the way at all of Valenzuela PB in this game. It is Donatos Obi who will check in. He can give them this opportunity. Kickstart this difficult game.
Mendiola FC. Number 29.
The thing is about this sub as well. There's a few minutes until halftime, which is a sub window that isn't burned when you make a sub at halftime, but they chose to make it right away. I wonder if that's injury related as well. But they make the sub nonetheless.
Speaking of injuries, King is down in the middle of the pitch. It is shaky at the back. Okereke almost pounced. He would have made it 3-0, but he wants that back. But you gotta credit Motagyan. Hit to the right by the sub, Obi. There's only Mbira to aim for in the middle. Sulit to stretch the defense on the other side. Referee Chris Mark Mendiola took no interest in that fall. They will stop play.
I think Mendiola are asking for a penalty from that last exchange, but they will also be lucky here that they're not down 3 because Okireka had another golden opportunity to get on the score sheet. Good save from Motagyan, keeps this game in striking distance just about. And we hear was that contested challenge that wasn't called. Again, another bit of shaky defending from Mendiola, and Okireke nearly punishes them yet again. Motagyan with a really good save.
Saves from point blank, saves from distance. 2 minutes of additional time as confirmed by our fourth official, Raymar de los Santos. As much as Valenzuela PB are down 2-0.
Minimum of 2 minutes.
Motagyan has given us a performance.
I think if there's any player from Mendiola who can say that they've performed really well in this match so far, it is the goalkeeper. Multiple saves. Wonder where they'd be if he hadn't made those saves in this first half.
We have about 2 minutes remaining in additional time. It is 2-0 again. Garelli leads. Fair play here. Credit to Garelli for returning this to status quo. Or sorry, credit to Valenzuela PB.
It was Yamaguchi who went down with an injury, but he looks to be fine. And you'd imagine if you're Don Bosco that not only for this match, you're going to need him fit for the rest of the season as well. But games coming thick and fast, plus the entire third round of the PFL. He needs to be fit for the rest of the campaign.
Tandaan ka natin, Diego, there's still the third round here. Sulit finds himself in a similar situation. Abarca, kay Johnson. Just given away to the middle here. Obi hits the deck. It will stay with him.
It's a yellow card. I think there was a yellow card in there.
The yellow card was dished out there. Felicia wanted to play it quickly. We got to hear actually that there was a yellow card that was given to Kim Min Kap of Garelli. Mbira took a touch. Sa panahon na yun, Diego, he seemed like a potential provider to his teammate Kyung Hyun Yo. It's with Okireke. 2-on-1. It will remain with them though, but it was poked away. Past the allocated 2 minutes already. We may see the last few kicks of the first half. Flag is raised though as Okireke is down on the pitch.
And you know, that's just a foul straight out of being frustrated with your first half performance from Mendiola. And you don't need to make that foul because the first half's about to end, but again, frustration and anger just coming out there. It's a chance also from a pretty decent position if you're Don Bosco to get a third. And it would be a really good time to get a third as well, right before the first half ends. Imagine this is the last play, Claro.
And it's right, because we are past the allocated 2 minutes of additional time. But it's up to the discretion for referee again, because there are stoppages. Of course, it's whipped in, and there is the defensive header. It leads to a corner. And this one will carry on. It is a difficult spot for Valenzuela PB. Of course, you're trailing. You prefer to be on the attack. And now they have to get this stop just to keep things at 2-0, which is already a deep hole. Sent forward by Yamaguchi. Kim will take it with his right. Secured well by the keeper. And that concludes the first half here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. 2-0. Don Bosco Garelli United
Ladies and
with
gentlemen,
quite an
at
effort.
score is
They
Don
lead
Bosco
Valenzuela
Garelli
PB and
United
Mendiola FC.
and Valenzuela
Teams will head to their
PB
dugouts now
Mendiola
as we will
FC
catch you
there.
in a bit. Confirmation once more
We thank you
of the
all for
scoreline.
coming.
Halftime at the Rizal Memorial Stadium, and it is a dream first half right here for Don Bosco Garil United, along with Sam Crawford and Solomon Okereke. They lead over Valenzuela PB Minchola. It has been a close one in midfield in particular, but with chances here and there, and Garelli have been able to manufacture quality ones, and they've been able to put them away in clinical fashion.
Yeah, it was a pretty even game to start things off. The first half, very, very tightly contested. But in that 6-minute spell after the 30th minute, Don Bosco just able to be clinical in front of goal. That was, the question mark over Don Bosco was, can they have that clinical edge? And it started off with Okereke. He was the first one to get on the score sheet. Really good finish, beats the goalkeeper. And my plus points para sa celebration. Pero just a few minutes after that, Mendiola did have a chance. So this was an open game, really. Mendiola just unable to take it because of that mishap at the back from Don Bosco. And then just a few minutes later, they were also able, they were also able to double their lead. But they did have to do some defensive work as well. They were blessed also with this defensive mistake from Sulit and Crawford, taking that gift and executing that finish. Great half for Don Bosco. Find themselves in a really good position to start the second half.
Embidas put in a quality performance, showing us, of course, why he is that dangerous striker. But as you were saying, siya yung naging creator. And in this instance, Okereke was denied from what was roughly point blank. So who's going to support and give those scoring chances dito kay Johan Embida, who is playing against his former team, as you said. And in this PFL season, tandaan nga natin, he got to score already for his previous team, Garelli, and with Valenzuela PB Menjola in different games, of course. The statistics in this instance justify why things are going the way of Garelli over Valenzuela PB.
Yeah, they have had more chances, they've had more possession, and it's no wonder that they took their chances because they've just had more than their opponents. Again, this match started off quite even, but after the 30th minute or so, Don Bosco just putting themselves in the driver's seat. And again, at 1-0 up, it would have been a closer game, but that mistake at the back proving to be very costly for Mendiola. And at 2 goals down, it's going to be a really uphill battle now for the Brave Men. And you'd imagine that Don Bosco, they just need to manage the game really well in the second half. Don't need to rush into things now that they're 2-0 up. And the onus for this second half is now on Mendiola to try and claw themselves back into this match because it's Don Bosco 2-0 up at the moment.
They have the luxury of managing the game, slowing it down, and while doing that, you could actually invite pressure, and that could open up your opportunities on offense. And dito sa Valenzuela PB Menchola, they can get 1 goal that gives them a lifeline. Not enough, of course, to get you a point. Again, it's just a lifeline that will be given to you. And it's moments like this already na hindi mo pwede sabihin, talo tayo, at least naka-goal. Not in this instance kasi magkadikit ang Garelli and Mendiola. They are close together in the standings. And this is the chance to get 3 points, to get one over the other in hopes of playing catch-up to the middle. But it's not going their way in this instance. Will the halftime adjustments be enough? Malalaman natin mamaya.
I wouldn't be surprised also to see if there's a substitution from Mendiola because it did not work the way they wanted in that first half. I wouldn't be surprised if there will be changes being made at the moment. But again, this is a match you need to win if you're either side because they're so close to each other in the table. A win over their direct rival is really gonna propel them to a better position. They get that extra bragging rights as well. First 15 minutes of the second half, as you always say, Clara, first 15 minutes of any half, very vital, very important. You need to make a good start, more especially if you're Valenzuela PB Mendiola because you are down 2-0. And Don Bosco, they have that parity, they have that cushion to manage this game out.
Nag-usap na nga sila lahat in halftime. Now it's about making it work. All, of course, up to our players now on the pitch. It is that moment to regroup. We are nearing kickoff for the second half. It's 2-0 again for those who just tuned in. Okereke and Crawford, the dynamic duo up front. Will they be that dynamic duo for Garelli, not just in this game, but moving forward? That is where we're going to find out. Off we go now. Subs are being confirmed right over at the half line. Valenzuela, PB, Mendiola in sky blue and white. Garelli in black and orange.
Substitution for Valenzuela, PB
Changes now are being confirmed.
Player number 21, John Tirado, is replaced by
And
number
no surprise
16,
that there's
Leon
changes
Manuel.
being made because of the first half to forget, but it was a 15-minute spell really to forget if you're Valenzuela, PB, Mendiola. They need a change, they need a boost. They'll be hoping that it comes from the bench. I think they'll take anything at this point, and it needs to be a good second half if they want to get anything out of this match.
Leon Manuel checked in for John Tirado, who started the game actually on right wing. Back on now. It did come off of Manuel. Back on almost getting a piggyback right here from Julian Perilla, who has been quiet in this game as one of those attacking players. As you see, it is Perilla who is playing up front with Johan Embida. Pero ang nakita natin, Diego, parang nasa isla, or it's like Embida is on an island in attacking opportunities, and he'll have that support from Reggie Sulit also, just to add from time to time.
Yeah, you know, this afternoon it's been a story of two completely different strike partnerships. You have Crawford and Okereke on the other side combining really well and both getting on the score sheet. Then you have the other strike partnership, which has looked devoid of chemistry. They've been far apart from each other. They've not connected well, and that's the difference as well.
Just cleared off here though by Felicia. Right.
Again, just speaking on Mendiola, you know, 2-0 down is not an impossible scoreline to recover from. They've already done it this season against Maharlika. Maharlika went 2-0 up, and Mendiola actually recovered that scoreline to 2-2. They were unable to maintain that, however, into the latter part of the match. This is why they still lost that game. But they do have it in them to score goals. They'll be hoping that they are able to do so in the second half.
A throw in. Katarinin sending it the other way. The header squared. And Okereke was close to getting it. Motagyan secured.
Great header back from Crawford to Okereke. And there it is again. It's a strike partnership which is combining well. Completely different story when you look at the strike partnership of Mendiola, who have not been able to jive as well as their opponents. Still one half of football though, so a lot can happen.
It is wide now to Manuel. Runs out of space. Got past Katarinin. Just offline though and trying to connect with Perilla. Kyong. Shot here. You thought that was good, but it is off the mark for Obi.
I tell you what, this is a really good chance to get back into the game. Obi, by the way, I think he was a sub right before halftime.
That's right.
Newly making a positive impact on this game. Forced into a tight angle and in a tight pocket, but he generates a lot of power. Couldn't get the placement just about, but you imagine if that was on target, Ishii wouldn't have had a chance. Just a glimmer of hope perhaps for Mendiola.
Matik magiging highlight goal na yan sana. Katarinin, not sure if he took the touch. Got a clip on defender Park. And when you were referring to that game wherein Valenzuela PB got to go level with Maharlika. No points for guessing who scored their goals there. It ended up 4-2 again for Maharlika over Valenzuela PB. Johan Embida made it 2-2 at the point in time. And that game was just played last month. But in being able to learn from those games and get those moral victories, it's about using that to get wins in situations like these na kalaban mo yung katapat mo sa o kadikit sa standings. This is the reason why we have a free kick. It will be on the wing for Garelli, our team in the lead so far in this afternoon.
It's going to be an outswinger for Yamaguchi. Has a lot of targets in the box, including Crawford, Okereke. I believe Traore has gone up also from center back. So Yamaguchi does have targets. He's pretty close also to the penalty box. I'd imagine he'd whip this in to that corridor of uncertainty between the 6-yard box and the penalty spot for any of the on-rushing black shirts to get their head on.
They are putting their players forward, particularly those who are aerial threats. Solomon Okereke wanted to stay in an offside position to cause a distraction to the defense. Told to go back. No one could reach this. Katarinin got a tackle. This one going back and forth. Definitely not to the liking of Mendiola. Sulit now playing in a more advanced position. Off we go. They get to Perelia on the right. Contra Makevit Bacon. Here's the tackle, clearly shoulder to shoulder. And it's a successful stop here for the Garelli left back.
Great strength there from Bacon. Great pace as well to keep up with his attacker. He just has the awareness not to put too much force in that shoulder to shoulder. Referee seeing that it was clean. Good defensive contribution from him.
Quite a distribution there from Shotaro Ishii. He's had some moments that were too close for comfort. To the relief, they lead 2-0. They want to put this one away at the least. Kim. Just 6 minutes into this one. Clara Manzano here alongside Diego Cordero. Sports Tribe is the official match ball of the Philippines Football League as Okereke laid it off. Bacon. There was a clear push. No whistle though is given. It was Crawford who was floored by the penalty spot, I will say.
A bit risky to have your hands all over the attackers if you're a defender in that scenario. Referee though not seeing anything more than just coming together. Again, when Don Bosco do go forward, they're able to flood the opposition penalty box with numbers completely opposite to how Mendiola have attacked so far. It's not been as threatening as Don Bosco's attacks. And a lot of fouls also in the second half so far, just allowing the flow of the game to be stop-start, to slow down. And Don Bosco will favor that because it allows them to kill the momentum of this match. And Mendiola won't necessarily, they won't help themselves with committing so many fouls because they need to build momentum rather than disrupt it constantly with fouls.
And 7 minutes into this second half already. As that may have been a miss hit, I'm not so sure, but they did get to connect. Crawford almost made it 3-0. Motagian has been able to keep this one close also.
Another really good save from Motagian, keeping his team in this, because if it wasn't for him, the scoreline would have been completely different at this point. Another really good chance for Crawford to get on the score sheet. I'm not sure if that set piece was planned, but it nearly created another goal.
That ball, a grass cutter. Pero tandaan nga natin, nakakonect yung ball na yan. That ball did get to connect. As much as we didn't expect it to be played on that low and that far at this level. Throw in dito mula kay Bacon. It will go out of play. And before we resume, we have the sub that we are expecting. Felipe Martins will enter right here for Kim Min Kap.
Substitution for Don Bosco.
Not a like-for-like change, sorry, because that is Kim, a midfielder stepping in. And you have Felipe Martins, who is actually a striker and started a number of games dito sa Garelli.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's a change out of rotation. And a lot of games to be played in the remaining fixtures of the PFL, and those games will come thick and fast. So you want your best players fit, ready for those games. So it's early rest for Kim Min Kap. Again, their next game is actually against Army for Don Bosco. So that's a favorable game and a chance now for them really to build momentum in the second round.
Possession wasn't secured there. That was Leon Manuel on the left wing. He entered this game again, coming out of the halftime break. 9 minutes in, and with what you were saying, it is going the way, of course, of Garelli. Solomon Okereke, Sam Crawford, the goal scorers. Hard fall from Crawford, and there's eventually a whistle that will go his way, and Don Bosco.
And so many fouls in this match, contributing to its stop-start nature. And if the flow of this match continues to be a little bit stop-start, it's gonna just allow Don Bosco really to run down the clock, take as much time as possible in these types of set pieces. And it's not gonna help Mendiola if they're constantly running down the seconds.
Bakon to Katarinin. It's an all homegrown left side here for Garelli. The return ball.
Bakon as well has been good. It's going to be tested here though defensively.
Mbida as a runner. There's the stop from Martins. Bola pa rin dito ng Valenzuela PB.
Martin's not a defender, but good defensive work there to stop the attack from Mendiola, because they were flooding forward with numbers. Nice to see that despite being an attacking player, he's helping out do the dirty work, and he's gonna eventually contribute to this goal kick. So that's a positive introduction for Martins coming off the bench and instantly showing some good work rate for his team.
Tandaan nga natin, it is a doubleheader today. This is your curtain raiser this March 7. And later on, we have Philippine Army and Maharlika, who will square off to conclude the day. Bukas naman, Toloy FC versus Aguilas UMAC at 4 p.m. And it will be Kaya Iloilo and Stalin Laguna to wrap up the weekend in style. But it's with Banjo Mahinay. He's had less defending to do, of course. And that's a sign for your team when you take it in a good way. Crawford versus Felicia. And there is the stop for Victor. So he did say again he played for the academies of S-League teams. And to elaborate, that is for Home United, now Lion City Sailors, and the other academy setup that Victor played for is Haugang United also. With that, it was actually off of Crawford. Kaya bola dito ng Valenzuela, PB Mendiola, and Kevin Motagian.
Larry, you were mentioning the game later, Philippine Army versus Maharlika. I think that both of these teams on the pitch right now will just be keeping an eye on that game, because Army are started to ramp up their season. And again, it puts even more focus to the 3 points here this afternoon, because you need it in case Army start to ramp up their season. Started scoring goals, finally have a point on the board. Need that safety for 3 points this afternoon for either side on the pitch at the moment.
Yes, in the standings, Garelli with 6 points. Valenzuela, PB Mendiola with 3. Army with no points yet, but you see, that's a striking distance pa rin in Philippine Army. That's why Garelli and Valenzuela PB badly need this win. A draw is not going to help. Felicia did receive this. Hit it to the left. That was Kyung Hyun Yo earlier who was playing it to him. He knocked it to Sulit. He did receive this one from Obi. Bakon just taking it away. Plays it through. You saw the intention. Not on the same wavelength. Okereke almost winning it from Felicia. Off the head of Traore. Sino makakuha nito? Sulit has drifted to the center. Obi. Martins getting the stop. Katarinin returning it. Ball still in play. The challenge from behind, not enough. Not sure if that was a nutmeg, but it was enough to split the defense for the moment. And it is a whistle here. Things going the way of Garelli.
First 15 minutes now, wrapping up in this second half, and Mendiola were unable to make a good start in these opening second half minutes. Again, they needed to make a good start because they're running out of time now to put themselves in a position where they can recover the scoreline. Don Bosco, though, they won't mind, and they won't mind having so many set pieces in attacking positions because they might even get chances to get their third. Again, Otagian has already made good saves in the second half. And at the moment, the likelier of the two teams to score, it looks like it's Don Bosco.
Definitely things not going your way if you are Valenzuela PB. Here is Yamaguchi's ball. Martins. The switch of play is successful. Nakay Mahinay. Manuel got to take it away. Play will halt here because it is a throw-in. There you go, the first 15 minutes done and dusted. Things going the way of Garelli with the way they have been execute their tactics coming out of halftime. Some extracurricular activity here, the usual. Stray elbows and pushes right before play will resume. With that, it effectively becomes a corner for Garelli. Just in cruise control now.
Yeah, Don Bosco, they're in a privileged position because of the scoreline, just to be able to take as much time as possible, run down the clock, eat up a few seconds when you have dead ball situations. But they're still going to send forward their aerial targets, so they're looking to increase their scoreline. It's definitely a possibility given the defending we've seen so far from Mendiola.
Sent in. Cleared off at the edge of the 6-yard box by Kyung. And the pressure continues to mount here. This could really strain and push the defense of the Brave Men, who are playing catch-up.
They can't get out at the moment. Still stuck in their own half. Unable to create chances. They're the team that needs to create chances, but it's Don Bosco who are still doing so. Good aggression from the black shirts.
Just punched out. They thought about taking it. Couldn't go for a Barca. Johnson is still able to stop the hopes there of a counter. Initially, he was late. Looping ball was met by Mahinay. Perilla. Some promising build-up here. Mbida will bring it in. Katarinin met it. They will push now. Timely intervention from Felicia, but it will still stay here with the Barca and Garelli on the right. There's Yamaguchi also to provide options. Just went in front of the mouth of the goal, and it's a stop here.
Great work from Abarca. Takes his defender on, is able to generate a good cutback. Picks up the ball pretty deep as well, but he drives forward. Good positive play from the winger. Beats his man with a burst of acceleration, and I think Abarca would also feel that was a good enough cross for an assist, but neither Yamaguchi or Crawford unable to get on the end of that. But good moment from the winger. Again, a promising talent, showing yet even more evidence of why he is a really nice player to keep an eye on. And again, pressure is staying from Don Bosco, and they're in a really good position now. Time running out for Mendiola. They need to wake up and need to start testing the opposite defense, because at the moment it's their own defense that's being tested, which is not the type of state they need to be in at this point of the match.
One hand already here on the W for Garelli. It's Okereke versus Park here. Okereke with a goal again today. It was Crawford also who added a goal of his own, hence they are in a prime spot to seal this W to start off our weekend of Philippines Football League fixtures right here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium.
It's been a lovely week in Philippine football. Been a busy week.
And we have a yellow card check. Sorry to cut you there.
Again, that's just frustration boiling over because of the way this match has been played so far. And yet, again, it's not helping themselves because they're just running down the clock, eating down a few more seconds. Mendiola just not helping themselves at this point.
I'm speculating that card was actually given to Park. Corner after corner, barrage after barrage, wave after wave. The attack, or things as of late, going the way of Garelli over Mendiola. And as I say that though, it's the brave men who get a stop that they badly need.
I think we're just going to get confirmation now of who got the yellow card.
Yes, so we can confirm that was indeed given to Park for his pushing with Okereke. He was desperate just to shield goalkeeper Kevin Motagyan, because oftentimes when you see goal kicks, we'd see an attacker be designated to somewhat block the path of the opposing goalkeeper, just to put it nicely. They will look to push on the left, but it's the same flow with Mbida bringing it up on his own. He's unable to connect with options here. Just gifted away to Abarca. And they will push behind Yamaguchi. And in that instance, Okereke gave it to Katarinin, the former player of the Aguilas. Bacon inside. Came off the defender. Great defending here from the brave men.
Great attacking from Bacon, all the way from left back. Made the run infield. Found themselves in an inverted role. And again, a good opportunity for Don Bosco. And that's a really good pass if it's being reached, just about not kept in. But again, the more fluid attacks, the more dangerous attacks, they're coming from Don Bosco because they're just connecting better. While on the other side, you have Mbida, who's, again, he's the type of player you want to finish chances on get ended of crosses. But he's having to make them in the first place, which is not the type of position he wants to be. And here he is again.
Oh, that's gotta hurt. It was friendly fire. It will still stay with them though. Sulit. Park sends it forward with his right. And it is to no man's land.
A non-threatening cross there from Park. Ishii coming out more of a precaution really, because that ball was not finding any teammate from Park. And time really running out now for Mendiola to at least get a consolation goal and put themselves back into this match, make the scoreline more respectable. But again, if you're going to compare the two teams' performances right now, the more likelier of the two to get the next goal is Don Bosco. And that's really, you know, this afternoon has not gone well for Mendiola. It's not gone the way they've pictured. They could be in a real dangerous position if Army start to pick up points. They could be starting to look behind their shoulder because no one wants to finish last in the PFL. But it's a bit tight down there at the bottom of the table, and any points will not help you if your rivals get them.
And should Mendiola fall, it is going to be unlucky 13 when it comes to their winless run. Ishii was getting involved at the back. There are moments where playing with the ball in scenarios like that is equivalent to playing with fire. Not this instance, and Mahinaya will search. He will push. Okereke got it to his strike partner Crawford. Give and go, couldn't connect.
Again, there you have it. You know, Okereke and Crawford, they've combined well. They look for each other right away. They have that chemistry. Even though they're both new signings, I believe, they haven't played together much. Such a different story to how the strike partnerships of the other side have combined. And yeah, they're the difference at the moment.
There's Victor Felicia needing some assistance. Okereke and Crawford. Is that the PFL's new dynamic duo? We are going to find out. Time will tell.
But it's ideal to have your strike partner also, or rather your strike partnership. It's ideal to have them both get on the scoreline because it gives both of them confidence. And you want your strikers to be confident. You know, they're the players on the pitch that can bail you out. They're the players that can influence matches. Obviously, it's a cliche saying, but goals win games. And if your strikers are up front and firing, you put yourselves in a really good position to win games, especially in tightly contested ones like this one. But even though, as I say, tightly contested, after the 30th minute or so, it's really been Don Bosco's game. They've controlled possession, they've controlled territory, and if the match keeps going the way it is, they're going to get all 3 points.
Just a disclaimer, there are also moments where defense wins championships. Just to add to the pot, to stir it more. Well, obviously, yes. At the end of the day, goals, the currency right here in football. Intercepted. Kevin Bacon has actually had quite a second half in this game. They look to push. We actually have some substitutions being lined up. Bacon lost his footing. Here's a touch. Almost the dagger here.
A really good pass from Bacon. Again, we were saying he's had a really good second half, both defensively and in this instance offensively, and he finds his former UAP rival in Abarca. And you know, Abarca will feel that he should be on the score sheet because that was a really good performance so far in this match for Abarca. Should have capped it off with a goal there. Really good save from Motagyan actually, but again, it could have been 3-0 so easily in this match.
Fernande Bangi will enter the game along with Desmond Ingay. Here was that last one.
Is replaced by number 93, Fernande Bangi.
I think the only thing that comes to Motagyan's save is Abarca being forced onto his weak left foot. But again, he will feel that he should have scored. Because he's had a good performance so far, he probably deserves a goal, he will feel. But Don Bosco still applying pressure.
Number 22, Salvo Crawford is replaced.
And given
by
Motagyan has
number
actually been able to keep his
Desmond
game
Ingay.
relatively within striking distance, and we got to hear the Crawford checked out of this game already. They're going to keep the pressure with Desmond Ingay now in for Garelli. Now it's Mendiola who will look to build up. They're getting up slowly but surely. OB. Over to Park, overlapping. But that spell there just summarized this game in a nutshell for Valenzuela PP. Time continues to tick.
They've been unable to connect in the final third. Nutmeg there by Katarinin.
Clever ball to Okereke. It's Okereke now with that chance to create. Ends up on the other side with Abarca. They shoot and it grazes the woodwork here. That effort from Yamaguchi testing the keeper, but it grazed the crossbar right after Motagyan got a tap.
Again, Motagyan really keeping the scoreline respectable because it should have been another goal. Really great shot from Yamaguchi, who has so much time and space in the midfield. And if you give a player of that quality that much room, he will punish you, or nearly so. It's a really good save to force the corner in the end. But once again, it's Don Bosco who are continuing to control this match.
Here's the delivery, an in-swinger. Headed out. Still kept in by Perilla. Embira the heavy touch. Martins got it to Okereke. You could see the effort there, but that ball just swerving wide.
Yeah, tight angle, but I think Okereke, because of his goal earlier on in this match, he has that little bit more confidence to try shots from slightly tighter angles and from range. But you know, Okereke, he's had that confidence boost now. He'll be hoping that that's a boost for the rest of the season as well, because he is a quality striker also. Can take those chances like he did in the first half. Really good goal to put his team ahead, and very threatening striker. Looks to be a really good signing for Don Bosco.
He's adding some bite to them up front, of course, when you refer to Solomon Okereke.
And the thing is about Okereke as well, he's a pretty good character to have in your squad. Looks to be a really good morale boost for his teammates.
Here's the tackle from Martins. Gives it on the counter. Off we go with the foot race. They try to capitalize on the keeper offline, and this is over the bar. That would have been a highlight goal if they got it on target.
Well, he's being applauded by Okereke for trying that distance effort because it was actually really near. You had Motagyan scrambling back because had that been on target, that would have probably been 3-0. And again, so many chances for Don Bosco to get their third goal in this match. And that would have been some goal, claro.
That would have been the dagger, of course, if they got to make it 3. That would have been a highlight goal, as we've said. After all, you miss the shots you don't take. When going back with Okereke, he had 3 goals last PFL season when he was with One Taguig. It's with him now. Martins gets it, Katarinin. Also cutting inside, no angle. That was the case, but they end up connecting for number 3. They are putting this one beyond doubt. 2 goals, 2 dance numbers from Solomon Okereke.
Just as I was saying, it's been a tale of 2 strikers this afternoon. Okereke gets another goal. Right place, right time for Okereke. A little bit of fortune about it because it did just bounce to him. But he will take that, and Don Bosco will take that. And you can see the Mendiola players slump shoulders, but Don Bosco, they're going to get all 3 points in this 6-pointer. Excellent goal for Okereke.
For the Bosco Garelli.
Let's have a look. We mentioned there was no angle, but they got numbers forward. That's how they got the job done.
The thing is about this goal as well, Okereke is there, and guys there. It should have been a goal already from Martins. He's unlucky that it didn't bounce in. And yeah, I kept saying that the likelier of the 2 teams was Don Bosco to score the next goal, and they get that next goal, and that just puts this game to bed now.
And with that, of course, you're on the attack. It's your opponents who are looking to play catch-up. They're not able to get any chances. They're not able to get shots on target. And that's how you manage the game, of course. Absolute control from Garelli. Goal scoring has been a problem for these 2 teams actually in this season. But it is Garelli who is able to just shake off those chains. But the way things are going, is it going to be another one? Because there's still plenty of time. 13 minutes right before stoppage time.
And the team doing the more attacking at the moment, it's still Don Bosco, so they're really feeling themselves in this match. They're confident because of the way this match has gone, and I think this can be their boost now this season. They can have this performance to build off on, to try and get more points, to try and break into the double digits points tally, because it's been a good performance this afternoon.
Almost another one here to make it 4. Well, Desmond and Guy couldn't connect. There's also been that barrage of corners right here for Garelli when you look back. Here's that play.
Goalkeeper isolated and could have been punished, but he wasn't. However, again, chances continuing to fall to Don Bosco. Still 12 minutes of regulation time in this match. If Mendiola aren't careful, you know, the scoreline could start to turn really ugly.
And it seems we aren't able to see or find these adjustments actually, if they have any hopes of at least getting on the score sheet. But with this cushion, 3 goals essentially, arguably enough to put this one away. We'll just need time to tick now, or this result is pretty much set except for the final score. It's the long walk up here for Kevin Motagyan. have a triple substitution also being lined up here. Shotaro Ishii will just secure it. Definitely the less busy goalkeeper in this fixture.
Yeah, but he'll really want that clean sheet as well. And it probably would justify the defensive effort of Don Bosco so far in this match. Because they've been really good in all phases of the game. But more especially in their attacking phases. But let's not forget that they've defended well at the same time. And it's going to get even worse now for Mendiola as another player is down as they make this triple change.
But right before they make this change, let's see actually if they could make a last-minute adjustment. You can do that right before the player or a player makes it onto the pitch. But the players who are lining up, there's Jason Soberano, there's Adonai Gomez.
Substitution for Valenzuela, PP, Mendiola.
This is a triple substitution again, so Azat Noran will also enter.
32, Sean Soberano.
They are unloading the bench here to give players experience, but with only 10 minutes remaining,
Number 80,
it's more than a miracle of biblical proportions to get back in a situation like this. But then again, Jago, in a situation like this, your team down by quite a margin, you come off the bench, that's a chance for you, of course, to use the playing time given to you. Maybe show the coach, of course, what you're capable of doing. And in this instance, prove yourself. This is something, of course, to add to training.
Yeah, chance for those subs now to make a case on why they should be starting. By the way, Clara, I think what you mentioned earlier is going to come to fruition because there's going to be a last-minute change. It looks like the sub being renewed in the fourth official area because of the fact that a Mendiola player is currently down. And unfortunately for him, he is going to be stretched off. Really not been a good afternoon for Mendiola, but this one just adding more salt on the wound.
It was an awkward fall right here.
Yeah, and those types of injuries are really hard to deal with because if there's no contact, it means it's something internal, not an impact injury, but something maybe muscular or with your joints. Again, not ideal for Mendiola to lose a player to injury. They've not had a good game, but again, that's just a little bit unlucky for them now.
That was Escosora actually. Eldwin started this game and was on the verge of playing the full 90. You do not want to see any player, of course, get removed from this game with a stretcher. That's not how anyone wants to leave the stadium at the end of any fixture, nor at the end of every game. We are sorting things actually with our fourth official. Let's hold on, of course. And with this stoppage, we are also going to expect a change for Garelli with Michael Sims entering. So they still haven't inserted Adonai Gomez with the situation on hand again. So with some clarification, they initially wanted to remove Park. In effect, if what I am seeing is correct, they ended up removing Julian Perilla from what I saw. So more on the administrative sides in that instance. I reckon also with this, it has to do with the number of foreign players that can be on the pitch again. Because in this instance, they were going to insert, or they opted to insert Adonai Gomez instead for the down player of Mendiola.
I do wonder if there's improvising as well because of the recent injury. The subs being made. We'll await confirmation here from the fourth official though.
There you go, it is Eldwin Escosora who is coming off for Gomez. A speedy recovery, of course, to Eldwin. And with Michael Sims entering, let's hold on, of course, it is Banjo Mahina indeed, who is stepping up. I had to double check that. I expected him actually to finish this game, and I mean that in a good way, of course.
For Valenzuela, PP, Mendiola,
But at the same time, you also understand why they will put a veteran player like Michael Sims at the back to finish the game strong with a clean sheet. As much as he is a fullback, he can shift over easily to the center.
Number 25, team captain Banjo Mahina is replaced by
Yeah, Banjo Mahina just being given
Sims.
a rest earlier on. Again, their next game for Don Bosco is against Philippine Army. So that's a winnable game. That's a game where you want all your crucial players fully rested. Because if they get 3 points there, then they really start to build up momentum in this season, which is something they've not been able to do so far. But this run of games is favorable for Don Bosco. And here's Michael Sims' first test.
Sulit. Gomez. And with Reggie Sulit, he showed some promise actually on the attack. But it was quite tough defensively for him, as it is another opportunity. And they bury it there. It was already the dagger earlier when Okereke made it 3-0, and Jerome Abarca claims a goal of his.
Great goal from Abarca. Great finish. Great counter-attack from Don Bosco. Abarca had so much time and space to think about where he was going to put this shot, and he puts it into the near post, beats the goalkeeper, who's been good this match, but he's not going to save that. And Abarca probably feels that a goal justifies his performance this afternoon. Another assist also for Okereke, who's probably the leading contender for man of the match, but this moment is Abarca's, and it's a very good finish, confident finish from him. First goal, I believe, for Don Bosco. We'll confirm that later, but he looks like he is really pleased, and he should be, because that was an excellent finish.
3 of the 4 goals actually for Garelli right here had Okereke involved there. So that's either him scoring himself, where he got to contribute to, and then he essentially set up Abarca, the former Warrior.
Abarca, he would have felt he should have scored earlier on with that chance that was saved by the goalkeeper. Finally gets his goal. Confidence boost for 3 players in your front line. So we have 2 goals for Okereke, 1 for Crawford, 1 for Abarca. So you want your front line very confident and building momentum into those favorable run of games. Again, their next game is against Army. So good afternoon all in all for Don Bosco. And Bita, by the way, went down for a moment there. And really frustrating afternoon for Mendiola. Not just because of their performances, but looks like they're being plagued now by some injuries.
Fitness also appearing to be an issue right here for Mendiola. Unfortunate also that a number of players did get hurt, but fitness also a factor connected to wear and tear injuries. Less than 3 minutes remaining now until additional time. And welcome, of course, Jerome Abarca to the Philippines Football League goal scorers list. A man from Butuan getting his goal, Jago. We did get to confirm that ourselves, of course.
Congratulations to him. Lovely to see UAAP talents make their way to the PFL scene. Not the only one from UE who's jumped to the PFL this transfer window, or the transfer window that just ended. But he finally gets that goal that puts him in the PFL goal scoring list. And again, that's just going to boost him now for the rest of the season. You see, he might be a little bit more confident now, a little bit more daring when he's going forward in matches, because of the fact that he's finally broken that duck. He's gotten his goal. And yeah, excited to see how he moves forward after this performance.
Confidence in oneself can really go a long way, as we know. What more when you are given the keys or the confidence from your very own coach? There's also that mental aspect, as we know, to the game, and sometimes that's just the moment that makes a player when they're able to find that 5th year, find that next step in their respective careers. The sun continues to set here, with us nearing the end of this game also. It is 4-0 again for Garelli in black and orange. Valenzuela PB Mendiola put up a brave stand, but they are close to another shutout defeat. Mendiola in sky blue and white. Who are the goal scorers again this afternoon? We have Solomon Okereke leading the way with the brace, and you can also argue the assist to Abarca or the setup. And Sam Crawford also added one of his own. But the extra dagger, it's to Jerome Abarca again. He made it 4-0. And that's the situation, or that was the situation. You got to see Valenzuela PB pushing and getting numbers for the counter, and they were exposed at the back. Okereke made them pay because he just split the defense with that quality ball, and Abarca was also clinical.
And again, might be a chance here actually, but really excellent tackle. Again, it's been two teams that are on the same points tally, but you know, if you were to look at their performance this afternoon, it wouldn't seem that way because it's been all Don Bosco. And both of these teams only on 3 points. Well, Don Bosco are going to be on 6 now, but both of these teams started the afternoon on level points. So it's a bit surprising, in all honesty, that scoreline is 4-0 in favor of Don Bosco. However, you know, some Don Bosco fans will feel that it is probably 3 points that was coming because of their recently played games. Again, they performed well in those games but couldn't convert. Now they finally do, and that's why the scoreline reads the way it does, and that's why they're finally going to get 3 points, only for the second time this season.
You can say there's the sigh of relief because you have that stretch where you cannot turn performances into results. And you finally get over that hump. You finally cross that line. And this is that moment for Garelli. And actually, you got to see Traore, who now is the captain's armband. He did get shaken up. And in that process, the armband is falling, or is continuing to fall off his arm. 5 minutes of additional time, as confirmed by fourth official Raymar de los Santos. This one now just a formality because Garelli put this one away. They were clinical, and what more credit to them because they created chances left and right throughout this entire game.
And the cherry on top for their performance this afternoon is that it looks like it's going to be a clean sheet for their defenders and the goalkeeper. So another confidence boost for them. Another boost in terms of morale as well. Finally getting a clean sheet. And if I'm not mistaken, that's also going to be Don Bosco's first clean sheet of the season. So that's another small win if you're them. And it caps off a perfect afternoon.
That is correct, because in their win versus Valenzuela PB, they did concede 1 goal. It was 2-1. And this is actually their biggest winning margin also in this season so far.
Such a confident boost for Don Bosco now. To have a scoreline that reads the way this one does. And to beat direct rivals, bragging rights plus the points, really gonna help them in terms of getting out of that slump that they've been in this whole season.
We are actually checking if this is the biggest winning margin of Garelli in their time here playing on the PFL level. Because yes, they did defeat back in 2024 4-2, but then again, that's just a 2-0. That's just a 2-0 margin in that instance. This one now closing in on a W. What I'm seeing is Chita is the biggest winning margin of Garelli when it comes to their time playing the PFL level. Another 4-0 result of Garelli was last 2024 when they had the 4-0 result over Manila Montet FC.
Happy moment for them because they've matched that record now. 2 minutes now to increase it, but I'm sure they'll already be happy with this scoreline, and I think they'll also be happy with the fact that all the goals came from attackers. So again, they distributed it among their front line, and it allows multiple players just to get and break that duck for their team. And again, I keep mentioning this, but this match really is a confidence boost to this team.
We were talking about the value of confidence again with this game close to ending now. Next challenge, bring this momentum and bring this form to the next game. And when you say that, of course, what do you do in training to carry on that momentum? We know that there's no clear-cut formula. It's not black and white. Coaches have their respective styles and systems, of course. So now the challenge is on them furthermore. Garelli's goal difference will get a slight improvement also, thanks to this result. Both teams are actually in the negative in terms of goal difference. There's some quick passing, but it is at the back to escape this attacking chance of Garelli. We are now past the allocated 5 minutes. Will this be a consolation goal? This was a rare instance wherein they were trying to set up Mbida as a Nuran's ball was deflected.
That's probably going to be clean sheet confirmed for Don Bosco. So it's been a really well-rounded performance all around the pitch. They've dominated, and they'll feel that it's justified that they do have a clean sheet. Might get another goal actually here.
It's with Reke now. You thought that they were going to get the stop, but unable to make it the laser. But we have the full-time whistle right here. Garelli and their 8-game winless run, and they do it in style behind the efforts of Solomon Reke. He got to find the back of the net twice. Also set up the goal of Jerome Abarca. Let's not forget also that Sam Crawford made it 2-0 in the first half. That is the scoreline right here in our Saturday curtain raiser in your 2025-2026 Philippines Football League season. This was Clara Manzano alongside Diego Cordero. It ends again Don Bosco Garelli 4, Valenzuela PB Mendiola 0.
Kickoff is at 7 p.m. Again, we encourage you to visit the official Facebook, Instagram, and X pages of the Philippines Football League with the handle @WeArePFL for more details on the Philippines Football League 2025-26 season. See you and have a great day. We are PFL.
Yeah, thanks
What
so
do you
much.
think of today's performance for your team?
Thank you so much. Today's defense not perfect, but its clean sheet is so very important. I think so that it's team. That's not only me. That's for the team. Clean sheet, I think so. That. Don Bosco Garelli is so this no good season in now, but we are a very hard work and think tactics. It's no stars player, but everyone learn and ambitious play. It's please me show this game my gallery team game match. Please, thank you. Thanks so much. Thanks so much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.